Okay, so we'll go to the next lecture, which is lecture 8, and we'll discuss about half wave dipole and introduction to ideal half wave dipole. This is what we are going to discuss. We'll start with source and observation point revision of what we have done earlier. Then we'll go to current source. Then we'll find out vector potential for the current source. Then we'll find out general expression for fields from vector potential. Then we'll find out the radiation field. Finally, we'll discuss the problem set that I had given you earlier. So that we'll discuss today, the solutions that you have given. Now look at this picture. There is a source volume which is enclosing an arbitrary source at position vector r dash. This source is a current source. It can be charge source, but we are considering current source only. Our interest will be limited to current source. So the source is a current source enclosed within a source volume V dash, and in that source volume we are considering an elementary element of source or elementary volume of source located at r dash. R dash gives the position vector of the infinitesimally source within the source volume connected to the origin. So r dash is the position vector of my current source. Then we are also considering the field point at a distance rp or positioned at rp. P represents the point where we are considering the field. Field point is the consideration point for radiation field. It is in the far field, and it is the observation point also. Either you can call it a field point or we can call it observation point. So now we have two vectors or two position vectors. If we have got two position vectors, one is for the source, other is for the field, then we can find out the vector that connects the source to the field. So that vector is capital R. R will be Rp minus R dash. From the next slide onward, I will drop the P and I will take R, which means if I consider R, it is referring to the observation point or field point. So now let me consider a source which is located along z axis. So the volume will be around the origin. It is located symmetrically along the z axis. Then you can imagine in this case what will the point of observation. It is at a distance p. Capital R is the distance from any point on the source to the field point, and small r is the distance to the source from the origin, and from the origin to any point on the source is my r dash. Now r dash is along z vector or along the z axis, so it will be r dash z cap. This will see later what happens here. Now since p is at a large distance, which we can consider to be at infinity distance, we can say that both these vectors, the little r and capital R, are parallel. Now assume that this source is at any point, not along the z axis. It is at any point in space. So from that point I can take r dash. If it is at any point, that point is r dash, and that point is enclosed by volume that I have discussed in the previous slide. So that volume is V dash, and elementary volume is dV dash. So this will be r dash, then there will be little r, then there will be capital R. Little r and capital R are distance to the observation point from the origin and from the source respectively. Now you can see capital R will be smaller compared to little r. Reason is it is displaced. Capital R is displaced from the origin, so it will be smaller. By what amount? We can find out by what amount if we drop a projection from the source point onto little r. So that projection will give us the distance by which little r is larger than capital R. If the angle between little r and little r dash is alpha, then that distance is r dash cos alpha. This you know from resolution of vectors. So the angle is connected to r, therefore r dash cos alpha. So capital R will be little r minus r dash dot r cap, which will be r little r minus r dash cos alpha. Now let us see what happens if we take the charge or the current to be exactly along z axis. Then my alpha becomes theta in this figure. That alpha becomes theta. That is point number 1 to be noted. Point number 2 is the point P is at a distance r from the origin and capital R from any location on the source, and the distance between the source and origin is z dash. Okay. Now the position of P, we can take it to be 0, y, g, which is it is not along the x, it is on the zy plane. It is not in the xz plane, it is on the zy plane, or it is not on any other plane. It is on the zy plane. This we can extend to any other plane by taking x. But for simplicity mathematical calculation, I am taking x is equal to 0. So there is no loss of generality if we take x is equal to 0. So let us take that to be 0, y, z. Then we can find out what is the distance to the point P and vertically along z direction from the point of source, that will be g minus g dash, because along z point P is at a distance of z, but the source is at a distance of z dash. Therefore, the distance to the point P is z minus z dash along z axis. Similarly, along y axis, it is at a distance y. Right. Now, here r dash is how much? It is along z axis. Therefore, r dash will be z dash z cap. Okay. So, r dash is equal to z dash z cap in this case. And we can represent r as y cap plus z cap. Right. So once we do that, let us go to the next thing. What happens here? Now you can see what will be r square, little r square. Little r square will be y square plus z square. That you can see from this figure. Why little r square will be r square plus z square? Because little r gives you the distance from the origin to the observation point. Observation point is at a location yz. Then r square is equal to y square plus z square. Simply use Pythagoras theorem for a right angle triangle. That gives you this. Then what is z dash? Z dash will be r cos theta, y will be r sorry, z, what will be z? Z will be r cos theta and y will be y sin r sin theta. So these two equations we can get from this figure. Then if we extend that, we get capital R is equal to R minus R dash, which is equal to, if I take R, what is R? R is equal to y cap plus g cap. So put that, then minus R dash. R dash is equal to g dash z cap. So put that, then that will give me R is equal to y cap plus g minus j dash into z cap. So that gives me capital R. If that gives me capital R vector, then I can find out the magnitude of the capital R vector, which is the square root of the components of the vector. What are the components? Y and z minus z dash. So square root of y square plus z minus z square. That I expand. If I expand that, that gives me y square plus z square plus z dash square minus 2z z dash. So that gives you the amplitude. That I can also write in the form as r square plus for whole of the other thing z minus z dash or z square minus 2z z dash plus z dash square. For that I can write it as minus 2r cos theta z dash plus z dash square. This you can do easily. Z dash square remains as it is. Rest of the thing is take z common, z minus 2z dash, right? That into z. So that gives you 2r cos theta z dash. If I take z dash common, I can get this easily. So that gives me minus 2r cos theta z dash plus z dash square plus r square root over. So that gives me what is my r. Now let us take it further from this point. Now what we have got is r as a square root of something, right? Now in that square root, one part is very large compared to other part. Which part is large? Z is large compared to z dash. Now I can use binomial theorem. If one is very large compared to the other one, then I can use binomial theorem to expand that square root. So let me expand that square root using the binomial theorem. That will give me this expression. From this expression, I can keep only the first two terms, which are independent upon 1 by r. Because as 1 by r increases, the terms will be diminishing very fast. So I will keep only the first two terms, which is r minus z dash cos theta. Okay. So if I do that, what is z dash cos theta? You can see from the figure. If I drop a projection onto this, now I have already told that both these lines, capital R and little r, I can consider them to be parallel to each other when observation point is at a very large distance, which you can take equivalent to infinity. So in that case, my capital R will be r minus z dash cos theta. If I drop a perpendicular, I found out by how much little r is larger than capital R or capital R is smaller than little r. So now remember this figure or what we discussed up to now. Remember this. This we are going to use in our derivations further that we are going to study or look into in this lecture. Now once we are conversant with source and observation point, let us move to a particular case. The particular case is a particular current source. So we'll move to the current source now. Now, one of the most popular antenna is called the half wave dipole antenna. It is the building block of most of the antennas that we design or that we will see later. It has been realized using straight wire fed at center, and length of the straight wire is half the wavelength or half of the wavelength of the frequency that we are interested for this antenna to radiate. Right? And this gives you a simple and accurate model for linear current that I will leave as a problem to you. But for linear current, its amplitude distribution will be same over the wire. So that is easier. That I will leave as a problem to you. But beyond that, we will consider other things. This half wave dipole antenna has many uses because its structure is very simple. Physical structure is simple. Above that, it is a resonant antenna. Being a resonant antenna, it has a zero input reactance. Ideally, its reactance is zero, but it has some resistance, but reactance is zero, right? So it will have a desirable input resistance It has a desirable input resistance and reactance is zero. Input reactance is zero. Okay. If we consider ideally a thin dipole, which means the dipole diameter is ideally zero. It consists of point sources. In that case, its resistance, input resistance, will be approximately 73 ohms. Right? But if we consider exactly half wavelength dipole, the resistance will be 73 ohms plus a small amount of reactive element that we'll consider later. Why that comes reactive element, that we'll consider later. But if we take the length to be lambda by 2, there will be a small amount of linear element. Now let us see what we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss a linear current source which we obtain by flaring up or by bending two parallel transmission lines. A transmission line consisting of two parallel wires, and at the end of the wire we have introduced a bend. The bend is such that on each wire the bending is lambda by 4 or quarter wavelength. So total length will be lambda by 2. We call this to be a balanced structure provided the input current to this dipole antenna, half wave dipole antenna, on the feeding wire on the top and bottom are equal, which means if I1 is equal to I2, the current is balanced. Therefore, it is called a balanced source. If there, and in that case, if we have a sinusoidal distribution, the distribution will look like this. Now, if I1 is greater than I2, then the distribution will not be sinusoidal. There will be there will be some discontinuity at the midpoint, right? Where you expect the maxima, there will be discontinuity, job discontinuity in the maxima, because I1 is not equal to I2. Same is, if I get I2 greater than I1, then the lower part will be larger compared to the upper. This is called unbalanced case. So you have a balanced input or balanced feeding, in which case both are equal, both current are equal. We can also have unbalanced feeding, in which case both current may not be equal. Now, what are the examples of this? If we get parallel line, then we get balanced feeding. But if we get coaxial line, that leads to an unbalanced feed. Usually, or in all cases, we are required to feed the antenna in the balanced mode. So if there is an unbalanced feeding, then we have to transform that unbalanced feeding to a balanced feeding. For that, we use a transformer which is called a balanced unbalanced transformer, or a balun, B-A-L-U-N, B-A for balanced, and then B-A-L for balanced, then U-N for unbalanced. So balanced and unbalanced transformer or a balun is required if the feed line is unbalanced. If the feed line is balanced, then we can directly connect it to the antenna. Now let us look at the current distribution that we are considering in this case. We are considering a half wavelength antenna, ideal half wavelength antenna. So if we get an ideal half wavelength antenna, at the end point it is open circuited, therefore current will be zero. At the center we are feeding it, therefore we expect current to be maximum at the center. So from the center it gradually tapers down to the endpoints. One of the most convenient method of analyzing this type of distribution is considering a sinusoidal case. The distribution is considered to be sinusoidal. If we consider a sinusoidal distribution, then we will get at the center maxima, that will be Im, current will become Im. At the end, current will become zero. So from Im to zero, it will gradually taper down in a sinusoidal manner. So that is represented by this equation. Iz, which means distribution along Z of the current is Iz. That is called to Im. Im is the maximum that occurs when Z is equal to lambda by 4. As I told you, each arm is of distance lambda by 4. Therefore, when Z is equal to lambda by 4, it will become sine k lambda by 4 minus Z. That will give you maximum value. Therefore, the Iz distribution is this much. Now, when it is equal to lambda by 4, it will give you 0. When Z is equal to 0, k into lambda by 4, k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. So that gives you lambda by 2. So that is maximum. So at the center you get maximum, which is Im. At the ends you get zeros. At the ends you get 0 and the distribution is sinusoidal. Now why I am taking mod of Z? because the antenna is centered at the origin. So if we are considering upward direction, it is lambda by 4. If you are considering downward direction of the z, then also it is lambda by 4. In both the directions, it is lambda by 4. And it can be positive or negative because z is at the center. If I don't take it to be the mod of z, then that will give me lambda by 4 minus of minus z for the negative side, which will be lambda by 4 plus z. So that will not go to 0 at the end point. Therefore, we have considered the absolute value of z. So this gives me the current distribution. So once we know the current distribution, our next step is to find out the vector potential. We have discussed how to find out vector potential from a given current distribution earlier, and we have seen one example by considering Hertzian dipole. Now in this case, we will consider the half wave dipole antenna. Now what happens here? Here my my vector potential is same as in the previous case for generalized vector potential, which is 1 by 4 pi r. I have taken r within the integration sign. 1 by 4 pi r integration mu j r dash e to the power minus j k vector, which is the propagation vector or wave vector, equal to 2 pi by lambda then k cap. So j vector dot capital R integrated over the volume. Now why I am taking r dash? Because I have already, or we have already seen that r dash represents the region in which the source is located, and we are finding out A due to the source at a distance r. Due to the source means where source is located, which means over r dash. That is why we are considering r dash integration over a volume across r dash, dx dash, dy dash, dz dash, etc. Now in this case, our z is only along the z direction. Our current is only along the z direction. Its extension along x and y are negligible. Therefore, we can write for z cap, j can be represented as z cap delta x dash delta y dash I z dash. Okay, if I put that in the above equation, similarly, r we have already seen, r can be represented as, or capital R is represented as little r minus r dash. Okay. And so we put all those things in the above equation, first equation, integration equation. That will give us z cap AR is equal to z cap mu upon 4 pi integration delta x dash delta y dash then I z dash e to the power j k cap. Instead of k vector, I am writing k cap dot r minus r dash, because capital R is equal to r minus r dash, then divided by r minus r dash, which is capital R. Okay, dx dash, dy dash, dz dash. Now dx dash integrated dx dash delta x dash integration gives me 1. Similarly, dy dash delta y dash integration gives me 1. So I am left with the next term, z cap mu upon 4 pi integration over a line. Line is along the z axis, the integration over a line I z dash e to the power minus j k cap dot r minus r dash upon r minus r dash dz dash. So So this is my vector potential. Finally, what I can do is within the integration we have that the integration is over z dash or r dash. So all z dash and r dash terms will be within the integration because they will be integrated, and normal terms which are r, they can be taken out. So that is what I am doing in the last line. A is equal to z cap mu e to the power minus j k r that I have taken out from the above divided by 4 pi r. Now you can ask me why I am taking 4 pi r whereas denominator was r minus r dash. R dash is very small compared to r, so I can neglect r dash in the denominator, but I cannot neglect it in the numerator. Reason is if you take sine theta or if you take cos theta, which are contained in e to the power j theta by Euler's formula, sin theta and cos theta cannot be neglected. Their values cannot be neglected when theta is small. When theta is small, sin theta becomes 0, but cos theta becomes 1 maximum. Therefore, these values cannot be neglected. So when we have e or exponential term containing jkr like terms, and even if r dash is small or r is small, we cannot neglect that. We have to keep that. So in the numerator, I am keeping this. In the denominator, we are neglecting this. Then integration of I z dash. Then what is left? K cap dot r dash. R dash is z cap and z k cap dot z cap. Each k cap is unit vector and z dash. If I take the vector product of scalar product of k cap with z dash vector, that will give me k z dash cos theta. So finally we get A is equal to, which means A has only z component, no x component, no y component. A has only z component, and the expression for A for a z directed current element now is this, and I know what is my Iz dash earlier. So now I will use that. Now we are going to use that. If we will use that, what we will get is, first we will get the electric field, which is equal to minus j omega A. Once we find out A, we can find out electric field, which is minus j omega A. But my interest is only in the radiation field. My interest is not in the near field or radiated near field. Now I know that the radiation field does not vary as r. Radiation field varies as 1 by r, but it does not vary as 1 by r square or 1 by r cube. Therefore, my radiation field has a component along theta or along phi, but it has no component along r. Therefore, if I am to find out the radiation field, then from the electric field, I have to subtract. I have to take out the components which are along r, or which are the radial components. So from the total field of or total electric field, I have to subtract or take out the radial part of the electric field. If I do that, then I get the second equation, which is E is equal to minus j omega A, that is the total field, minus j omega A dot r cap, that gives me the component of the radial field into r cap. So that if I take that out, I am left with only the theta component and phi component. So that will be equal to minus j omega into a theta theta cap plus a phi phi cap. Okay, so this is the expression for radiation field for any antenna, not only for half-wave dipole antenna. For any antenna, the expression for the radiation field, electric field in the radiation zone or the radiation field is minus j omega a theta theta cap plus a phi phi cap. So what we are left with is to find out what is a theta and what is a phi. Now we have already seen, or we have taken the dipole, half-wave dipole, to be along z axis, which means it has azimuthal symmetry. So if we are in the z plane or xy plane, from any point, if we look at the dipole, we'll see the same dipole, same length, same dipole on the xy plane, which means it is independent on phi. Since it is independent on phi, therefore a phi is equal to 0 or e phi is equal to 0 because of its independence on phi. Which means for this dipole, half-wave dipole antenna, we have only the theta component. Right? Therefore, my E will be minus j omega sine theta az theta cap. Now your question will be from where I got this sine theta. Right? Try to remember the figures that I have shown you. The location, point location is at P. The dipole is along z axis. Angle between them is theta. Right? Therefore, the component along z will be cos theta. The component which is perpendicular to z will be sin theta. My interest is in the component which is perpendicular to z, not along z. What is the reason? Reason is very simple. Reason is I should have an r value or r component. Right? I can have an r component along the radial direction only. Therefore, if it is in the xy plane, then only I will get a value for E. If it is in the z axis, along the z axis, then I will get no value. Reason also physically you can see, if you are seeing from the top, if you are seeing from this side, then you are seeing the antenna. If you are seeing from the top, you are seeing a point, simple point from the z axis, along z axis. Look from the top or look from the bottom, you will see only a point, simple point. So you will see only a point. That point is not giving me any field. Right? Therefore, cos theta is of no use. I will consider only sin theta. So E is equal to minus j omega sin theta az theta cap. Once I found out E, I can find out H as 1 upon eta r cap cross E. And since E has only theta component in the radiation zone, no phi component, and I am neglecting the r component, when I take this cross product, I will not get any theta component, I will get only phi component. Therefore, I will get H phi. We will get E theta and H phi for half-wave dipole antenna. H phi and E theta will be related by this relation. H phi is equal to E theta upon eta. Now we have to do the integration and find out the values. This I leave as an exercise to you. What we are left with is E theta is equal to j omega mu 2 Im over k e to the power minus jkr by 4 pi r. All these terms are there. For sin theta or for the current element, I had Im j omega mu 1 upon 4 pi r e to the power minus jkr. All these terms were there. So you need not worry about them. Those terms are there. Sin theta or E theta, we have only sin theta, so that term is there. So, and then you have to integrate over the length minus lambda by 4 to lambda by 4 for whatever is inside the current distribution that is to be integrated. So if you integrate that, that gives you cos pi by 2 cos theta upon sin square theta. Right? So I get E theta as the above equation. Now from that I neglect the amplitude part, which is j omega mu 2Im by k e to the power minus jkr by 4 pi. I can adjust the values k, Im values in such a manner that that becomes how much? That becomes 1. Or I can divide E theta by maximum value of E theta. What will be maximum value of E theta? Maximum value of E theta will be this j omega mu 2Im by k e to the power minus jkr by 4 pi r. So that gives me the normalized E field, normalized pattern. So accordingly, I will get the F theta. So F theta is the field pattern, complete field pattern for the dipole, half wave dipole antenna. So that will be cos of pi by 2 cos theta by sin square theta. Then G theta is equal to sin theta. Now you can recognize this. Sin theta, you try to remember we had a Hertzian dipole. In the Hertzian dipole, the variation in theta was sin theta. Right? And so I take G theta to be sin theta, rest of the term as F theta. Now doing this, what I want to imply is this half wave dipole, you can consider it to consist of many Hertzian dipoles which are connected head to tail, and you integrate over that. So you find out an expression for Hertzian dipole, integrate it from minus lambda by 4 to lambda by 4. That is also going to give you this and this expression. So that will leave as an exercise for later classes. So now we have found out the element pattern, I will call, because the elements are Hertzian dipole. They constitute the complete half wave dipole. So element pattern I consider as G theta is equal to sin theta, and the antenna factor is F theta, which is equal to cos pi by 2 cos theta upon sin square theta. If I multiply them, then I get the total field. So field factor, capital F theta. Capital F theta is equal to G theta into little f theta. So multiply them. Numerator you have sin theta. Denominator you have sin square theta. So numerator cancels out with one of the sin theta in the denominator. Finally we get cos pi by 2 cos theta divided by sin theta. So this is the expression for radiation field, normalized radiation field, or the normalized field in the far field region. Now let me see what happens in this case. Let me see, or let me animate. Now if you remember, did I show you these animations earlier? No, I have not shown you the animation. Now these animations are on the left side. I am showing you the animation of E field for a Hertzian dipole. You can see on the top and on the bottom there is charge distribution which is varying harmonically, sinusoidally. It is increasing, then decreasing, then increasing, then decreasing on the top and bottom. On the top we have positive charges, on the bottom we have negative charges. The separation is very small between them, infinitesimal separation. Here we are showing a value which is expanded, right? Or what you can say, if you like you are putting a lens and looking at this magnified value. So magnified region I am showing you on the left side, the electric field. So this is how the electric field for Hertzian dipole goes. For the same thing, we see the magnetic field in the bottom of that. Now if you compare these two, what you see is the top one, upper one, shows you the charge. Charge is increasing, then decreasing harmonically, time harmonically. The bottom one shows you the equivalent current. Current is going up from positive to negative, then from negative to positive. Right? I'm sorry, from the bottom to up, then up to down, current is flowing. So that is, current is always represented by a magnetic field. Right? Because if you have a current element, you will always find out that surrounding the current element, there is a magnetic field. So if I take the animation of a magnetic field, that gives me the current. That shows me how the current is varying. So the top and bottom are showing me the charge variation, current variation, and the field propagation due to charge variation and current variation. Top is E field, bottom is magnetic field, H field. Same thing for the half wave dipole antenna, you can see on the right hand side. The top one shows you the electric field, the bottom one shows you the magnetic field or H field. Right? And now you look at the top one, you can clearly see formation of a figure of 8 in the top one, which means the dipole, half wave dipole, the radiation pattern is a figure of 8. Gradually you can see that figure of 8 is formed in the top one. In that manner it is propagated. Right? Bottom one shows you a uniform distribution. So H field is not the figure of 8, it shows you a uniform distribution. So in the field direction, the field does not vary, field remains constant. That is what is shown from the bottom one. Okay. Now, if I take the two-dimensional view of what we have seen for the half wave dipole only, I can have three components here. One I call the Hertzian dipole component, which you can see in the blue line, a sinusoidal distribution. Then we have the pattern factor or pattern component, which we see in the upper part, which is the green part. That represents the cos pi by 2 cos theta by sin theta term, right, and sin square theta term. Then the bottom one shows you the combination of the Hertzian dipole and a pattern factor, multiplication of that. So that gives me the half wave dipole antenna. Now there are certain things that we should remember in this case, but those things we will see in detail later. This is basically an introduction to the half wave dipole antenna. So I will complete with the discussion, then I will stop, we'll take some break, then we'll consider the problem set. Now you know here what we have done is we have considered half wavelength only, right? Now suppose this is the length is exactly half wavelength, is not exactly half wavelength, slightly shorter than that, so that we have the radiation contribution from the current element along its extent in the radial direction or in the broadside direction, then there will be uh, significant phase variation in the far field as the angle around the antenna due to the difference in path length. At each point of the radiator or the antenna is distinct, is separate from each other point by a finite amount of length that we know. And we know that phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Therefore, each separation by an amount L or by an amount dz, which is infinitesimally small, introduces a small phase difference. Right. So from center to end, there will be phase differences. They will introduce phase differences in the far field, which means the far field is not going to be added up in phase. There will be different phases. Phase components will be different. Each small element along the length, if I consider to be a radiating element or Hertzian dipole, so in the far field, I have field from many Hertzian dipoles, right? Each Hertzian dipole is radiating the same field, but there are many Hertzian dipoles. They are not co-located. Their locations are different. Therefore, the phase of these fields are different. Since the phase of these fields are different, in the far field, we have got many electric fields. Electric fields are vector quantities. So net electric field is combination vector quantity, means we can add the vectors. So we add vectorially all of them. When we add vectorially all of them, not only amplitude is added up, phase is also added up. Now, if they are in phase, amplitude will added up. If phase they are not in phase, then amplitude will be proportionate and added up according to the phase. So in the far field, we may not get the maxima that we desire unless theta is equal to pi by 2. If we have got theta is equal to pi by 2, we can see from that figure that the phase for each distance is equal. So they will add up there, and along theta is equal to pi by 2, we will get the maxima. So there will be full phasor addition and a pattern maxima. For other direction, there will be partial cancellation due to phase difference between current elements, and that can be as large as 180 degrees if theta is equal to 0 or theta is equal to pi at the dipole ends. So there will be no field in the end fire direction. Field maxima will be in the broadside direction. In the end fire direction, there is no field. Right? So we will get, basically that is the reason why we get a figure of 8 or the pattern that we have just seen. Now, major influence on the end fire direction is the element factor, which is f theta is equal to sin theta. Right? That is why we are getting 0 along the end fire direction, because when theta is equal to 0 or pi, sin theta is equal to 0. So that factor, f theta factor, which is the Hertzian dipole factor, that has the major influence. Because of that, we get 0. Right? And that gives me vanishing field along the end fire direction. Right? So this is a discussion on what we said, a half wave dipole antenna. After this, let us take some break. Then we'll come back and discuss the problems that I had given you. Or we can continue. Instead of taking a break, let us continue and finish it up. So let us start with the problem 1. First problem. The first problem is prove the differential identity del dash dot j r dash e to the power j k dot r dash is equal to j k dot j r dash e to the power j k dot r dash minus j omega rho r dash e to the power j k r dash. Please tell me now. You can use your mic and tell me if you have done this. Those who have done it, please tell me that you have done it. How many of you have solved this, proved this? Please tell me, tell your name and say that I have proved it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अन्वेषा तमे करछ? हेलो
Again, sir.
हाँ आ के करछि?
Yes, sir.
ना को ना कहि कि को
Josnamoy.
अच्छा आउ
तेजस्विनी
तेजस्विनी आउ ना को ना न कहले केमति जानिनी? वर्षा अच्छा ठीक अछि। ताले अन्वेषा तमे बुझेला केमति करा हला मुहरे कहि परिबो केमति करछ ना प्रेजेंटेशन मोड को गले करिवो? हां मु तो मुहरे कहि परिबी मानसा को तम मुहरे जदी कहि परिबो भल कथा। पुओ पिला केही करनांती
सर करछ
कहूना
सूरज
50 के करछ बोली सरोज करछ आ के करछ? अच्छा अन्वेषा तमे बुझा केमति करछ तापरे मु सरोज को पचारिबी सरोज भी कहबो अन्वेषा केमति करछ बुझा?
Sir. Again.
हां
যেটা del of into j of r dash e to the power j k r dash
हां
equal LHS equal to करके j of r dash into del dash into e to the power j k r dash plus e to the power j k r dash into del dash into j of r dash. Then is equal to jk into j of r dash into e to the power jk r dash plus e to the power jk r dash into del dash whole into del cross h minus del j omega epsilon e, and that is equal to j of sir j of r dash ro
अच्छा केमति
j
करी
of r dash
अच्छा
बदलले सेटा लिखिस again.
अच्छा हो
That equal to j into k into j of r dash e to the power j k r dash eta jemti thila semti rahla plus e to the power j k r dash whole into del dash into del cross h minus j omega epsilon del dash into e. Then is equal to j into k into j of r dash.
हाँ फर्स्ट पार्ट छाड़ दियो
Then
सेकंड पार्ट कोई चलो
e to the power j k r dash whole into eta del dash into del cross h equal to 0 minus j omega epsilon into eta 1 by eta rho by epsilon the rho of r dash divided by epsilon. The epsilon कटिगला j into k and first part minus j omega rho of r dash into e to the power j k r dash.
अच्छा ठीक अछि हो सरोज तमे केमति कला?
सर सेम सर मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन यूज करके सर
मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन यूज करी कला अच्छा आउ की करछ एमती अलगा वर्षा तमे केमति करछ?
सर j equal to j omega p del q r
जे
सर j and the value of j omega p del q r
जे ओमेगा पी नहीं कल अच्छा मु क्वेश्चन तो सेमती दे नथिली सेमती कहीं नेल कष्ट कल अपस्या बाटर कल सहजिया कर पाता कष्ट कल तेजस्विनी तो हाँ नहीं कल ठीक ठीक भूल करना ठीक कर किंतु बाटटा कष्ट है सहज बाटर करा पार तेजस्विनी तमें केमती कर कौन कर सेम प्रोसेस
हाँ सर
आउ क्या एनी डिफरेंट प्रोसेस रे के कर
सर सेम करछि
समस्त सेम अच्छा हो
जे
हौ तार मु कहूँ शुण तुम जमती कल ठीक अच्छी फास्ट पार्टा ठीक अच्छी जे के डॉट जे ई टू द पावर जे के डॉट आर डैश से पार्टा ठीक है से पार्ट छाड़ दियो तापर तुम कौन पाइल ई टू द पावर जे के डॉट आर डैश इनटू डेल डैश डॉट जे आर डैश then you apply the continuity equation. You know del dot j is equal to dou rho by dou t. Sorry, del dot j plus dou rho by dou t is equal to 0. Continuity equation. So del dot j is equal to minus dou rho by dou t. We are having time harmonic distribution. So rho is equal to rho into e to the power j omega t. So dou rho by dou t is equal to j omega into rho. Right. So simply use continuity equation that gives you the second. एते कष्ट करिया दरकार नहीं बुझेला simply you could have used the continuity equation ई करिया दरकार नहीं मैक्सवेल्स इक्वेशन को जीवा दरकार नहीं किछि नहीं बहुत सहज रही था दुई लाइन रे हवा कथा अच्छा नेक्स्ट की करछ इंटीग्रल आइडेंटिटी
सर
वर्षा वर्षा करछ बुझाओ केमती करछ बुझेला
सर मैं तो सारा इंटीग्रेशन काट के मुझे एपटे जानते कि पी रा वैल्यूटा है पी डेल डेल्टा डेल्टा के बाद जो ये पक्की के आईलेट्स को भी तरह इंटीग्रेशन काट देनी सर को एग्जैक्ट ना जेटा को डिसाइड करानी ओमेगा जल्दी रहे
हां आउ के करछ आ के करना
सर
हां
से सेम कर
सेम कांसेप्ट तमे सीधा
सर से सेम कांसेप्ट करछु जे हेले माने फास्ट आरएचएस पार्ट करली माने माइनस रे बाहरला सेटा सब सेम अछि खाली गोटे माइनस ये खाली लागि जाय
देखो एते लंबा लंबा काई करछो दे साइड रे वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन नियो टेक वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन ऑन बोथ द साइड्स तो राइट साइड रे वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन हरा कोन तमे तळे जो टर्म दीटा देखुछो नहीं राइट साइड रे वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन हला वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन ओवर जे कॉमन नहीं जा वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन ओवर जेटा बाहर अछि जे गुणा आइछि वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन ओवर k dot j e to the power j k dot r dash dv which is the first term or dq r dash jota the first term that is dv minus omega rho e to the power j k r dash then dv or dv is equal to dq r dash integration is over volume so omega is outside you can take omega outside so that is my right hand side left hand side is del dot j e to the power j k r the integration over volume you know Gauss divergence theorem del dot f or del dot x जहाँ भी को integration is equal to surface integration over the surface enclosing the field or enclosing the vector so del dot j this is the volume integration will be equal to surface integration over this over the surface which encloses j e to the power j k r into ds. Now on that surface, the surface is enclosing the current. Current is not on the surface. So on the surface, current is 0. So left hand side is equal to 0. Once left hand side is equal to 0, right hand side re common factor is j. So j cancels out. Right hand side re gote positive, gote negative achi. Negative taku you bring it to the left hand side. Bring the negative part to the left hand side. That gives you the identity, integral identity. This is much easier. एमती कले बहुत सहज रही गला संगे संगे बुझी पारला नहीं को जितरा बुझी पारला नहीं राइट राइट हैंड एलएचएस बुझी पारला ना आरएचएस बुझी पारला एलएचएस एलएचएस रे कौन बाहरला हमरो इंटीग्रेशन ओवर वॉल्यूम राइट डेल डॉट j e to the power j k dot r dv integration of this one है ना del dot f dv is equal to integration over surface of f এটা জানছো না জানো Gauss theorem रो Gauss divergence theorem से that del dot f dv is equal to integration over surface enclosing that volume ds of f. So बर्तन मु ताकू surface integral को convert कर देची. Volume integral is converted to surface integral. So surface integral there is no del term. What is the term that is remaining? J e to the power j k r dash. Okay, over dqr or over dqr dash. Now on the surface, when we are considering the surface, integration is on the surface only, not inside the surface. It is on the surface. On the surface, what is the current? Current is enclosed within the surface. Current is inside the surface is the current. Surface is enclosing the volume. Volume contains the current. Surface where there is no current. So current is 0. So J is equal to 0. For the surface integral, J is equal to 0. For volume integral, J is not 0. For surface integral, J is equal to 0. The moment you put 0, J as 0, integration is equal to 0. So LHS is equal to 0. बुझेला? अच्छा एटा एटा केते जन कलो फास्ट जे करती एटा कर दबो कोन अछि
आज्ञा सर
हां फास्ट जेमती कराई छी एटा एग्जैक्टली सही जिंस नहीं एटिकल सेटी e टू द पावर jkr अछि e टू द पावर jkr जगह रे हमें यूज करछे gr डैश सॉरी gr डैश ना हां gr डैश gr dash use করছি বাকি otherwise it is same. Okay, so if you have proved the first one, you can easily prove the second one, provided j and rho are non-zero. That condition also applies here. এইটা কত জন করছো
କରିଛ sir
କେମତି କରଛ କୁହ ବର୍ଷା ବୁଝା ବର୍ଷା କରିଛି କହୁଛି ବର୍ଷା ବୁଝେଇବ हेलो
सर
वर्षा रे कटि गला कि
आज्ञा सर तो नेटवर्क नहीं होता
नेट सुनी अच्छा ठीक है तमे बुझेला अन्य से तमे बुझा
सर सेटा जो Helmholtz equation that del square plus k square E equal to j omega mu j plus 1 by epsilon del rho ସେଟାକୁ del square plus k square whole into ଏଟାକୁ ଭାଙ୍ଗିକି del square E plus k square E equal to minus ଏଟା j
ନାଇଁ
omega mu plus
प्रथम स्टेप होची से इक्वेशन टा बाहर करिवो ना ऊपर एक मैक्सवेल
आज्ञा सेटा
इक्वेशन रो से इक्वेशन बाहर करछ की
से जोटा del square plus k square h
ई
equal to
हां
minus del cross j तो
मैं सेटा ता पूर्वटा जो दी लाइन रे इक्वेशन लेके जे ऊपर गोटे लाइन इक्वेशन अछि तळे आ गोटे लाइन इक्वेशन अछि ऊपर लाइन रे इक्वेशन यूज करिकरी प्रथमे तमे बाहर करिवो तळ लाइन रे इक्वेशन सेटा करछ ना करना
सर
ତାହେଲେ ତମେ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲ ଟା ପ୍ରୁଭ କରିବୁ
नहीं मैक्सवेल प्रूफ करिवनी हेल्महोल्ट्ज इक्वेशन प्रूफ करिवो फ्रॉम मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन सेटा के करछ को
ना सेटी कंफ्यूज एटा
तमे सीधा तळटा को नेकी ताको प्रूफ कर देला नहीं del square plus k square e is equal to एति की लिखतला del square e लाई गोटे वैल्यू बाहर कलो k square e लाई गोटे वैल्यू बाहर कलो ताको मिसे देखि
दीटा
हां सेमती करछ अच्छा चलिबो जे ठीक अछि कले सीधा तमे मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन रे you could have taken curl of both sides curl of e is equal to minus j omega mu h take curl of both the sides then curl of e is equal to minus j omega mu curl of h is equal to j plus j omega epsilon e so right hand side रे लिख दिया सेटा को j plus j omega epsilon e तो सेटा कोन है जो राइट हैंड साइड टा माइनस j omega mu into j and then plus omega square mu epsilon into e omega square mu epsilon हला k नहीं omega square mu epsilon is k square
के
so that becomes k square into e left hand side रे कोन हला left hand side becomes the gradient of divergence of e minus del square e del cross e is gradient of divergence of e minus del square e gradient of divergence of e is equal to 1 by epsilon rho so gradient of divergence of e is equal to 1 by epsilon into gradient of rho so left side hela how 1 by epsilon gradient of rho minus del square e is equal to right hand side is minus j omega mu into j then plus k square e हला जो गुडा को माइनस अछि ताको ऑपोजिट साइड को नै जा राइट हैंड साइड रे माइनस j ओमेगा म्यू j अछि ताको लेफ्ट को नै जा लेफ्ट रे माइनस del square e अछि ताको राइट को नै आसो that gives your equation del square plus k square e is equal to j omega mu j plus 1 upon epsilon grad of rho that is the Helmholtz equation for the first ebe second ta kemti bahar kariyo same thing curl of h is equal to curl of j plus j omega epsilon curl of e hala curl of e is equal to minus j omega mu h तो सेटी पकाओ minus j omega mu h del dot h is equal to divergence of h is equal to 0 so left side you will get only minus del square h is equal to how much minus curl of j plus k square h right now exchange both the minus so take this one to the left side k square h to the left side. Now you will get this equation. Del square plus k square h is equal to minus curl of j. So this you will get. Tapare you should solve them to find the Green's function. Set by ji mu agru Green's function करेची. Green's function पाया कौन करिया पड़ियो? Right hand side को 0 कर दबो और right hand side तक को नहीं जीवो डेल्टा फंक्शन नहीं कि आरटा एम्पलीट्यूड पे का सॉरी वेक्टर पोटेंशियल लगी जेमती सॉल्व करथिले सेम प्रोसेस सेठी a थिला एठी e और h अछि otherwise it is same, so you can solve it. So Green's function will be how much? E to the power minus j kr by 4 pi r. That will be the Green's function. Okay, so I think this you can solve. This we have solved now. Then this was the problem set. एटा केते जन करछ? कई करना
सर क्वेश्चन
ना सर हेलानी
हैला नहीं
सर फास्ट जो इनवर्स पूरी पढ़ा है से यार चैट दी जिक्र करे मतलब
इनवर्स फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म ता कौन फार्मूला कौन कहला?
सर जो इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ माइनस इंफिनिटी टू इंफिनिटी तापर st टू पावर j ओमेगा t
जे ओमेगा टी तापरे डी ओमेगा ना dt
सर dt
ना से तो भूल आ सेट लाइक बोले थियो जे करथो इनवर्स फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म कार माने अछि को ठीक करी के कहो फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म और इनवर्स फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म ये जाने की को ठीक कर
सर इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ माइनस इनफिनिटी टू इनफिनिटी 1 by 2 pi e to the power minus j omega t.
हाउ डी ओमेगा डी
सर
टी एफ टी एफ ओमेगा सेमती के छोटे रहइबो ना जोड़ा कोडे वाला पूरा फुल एक्सप्रेशन कहबो इफ एफ ओमेगा is my Fourier transform, then its inverse Fourier transform express ft using the inverse Fourier transform. Ft is equal to kete integration kete.
Sir, ft equal to 1 by 2 pi integration of minus infinite to infinite f of omega e to the power j omega t d omega.
It's about j omega t na minus j omega t. ठीक रे
सर
j omega t.
Sure.
तळे again.
अच्छा एबे ताको अप्लाई करले कोन होची या तेरे अप्लाई करले होची ना होगी आगर एचआर रे अप्लाई करिवो सहज सेटा अछि एचआर रे अप्लाई करिवो गोटे जिनस मन रख या देरे जोड़िए फंक्शन अछि गोटे फंक्शन हला p गोटे फंक्शन हला g नहीं g अच्छी गोटे p अच्छी गोटे g टा आसुची p रु g टा e to the power minus jkr जो form e to the power minus jkr by 4 pi r that is because we have p नटले से पट्टा तो 0 से पट्टा क्या आसुन इक्वेशन आसुन so g comes from that p रो फोरियर फॉर्म आउ टाइम डोमेन रे p टा को हम कहवा pt आ p function of t retarded तो हम t function of t g रो से retarded होइची g रो भी सेमती रहबो एबे ताको जे इंटीग्रेट करबा सॉरी फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म नबा ताले दैट इज p omega is Fourier transform of p pt r जा होची retarded potential ptr is the time domain of p राइट एबे ताको इंटीग्रेट कला परे हमें कौन पाउचे ना j ओमेगा इनटू jk प्लस 1 बाय r p क्रॉस r कैप gr एकु जदि हमें फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म करिबा को जिनसर फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म हबो या देख भाभी की कहिला ठीक है एको दी भाग कर दियो प्लस अछि सो j ओमेगा into jk that will give you minus omega k p cross r gr है गोटे टर्म प्लस j ओमेगा by r p r कैप gr है गोटे टर्म दुटा टर्म आसला दुटा को टर्म को हमें इंडिविजुअली फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म नबा इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ a प्लस b dt is equal to integration of a dt plus integration of b dt that we know so हम दुटा को अलग अलग नबा ट्रांसफॉर्म जदि अलग अलग ट्रांसफॉर्म नबा ताले कौन पाइबा को सेकंड टर्म ता फर्स्ट नबा जो कि ओमेगा नहीं कि k नहीं so that is 1 by r p r cap gr ताको इन्वर्ट कला बेल को r is not dependent on time so gr is independent upon time gr ताको हम नोचे 1 by 4 pi r e to the power jkr सेटा रहला e to the power minus jkr रहला by 1 by 4 pi r ऊपर टाइम डिपेंडेंस gr रे कोटे आछबो e to the power minus jkr minus omega t तो minus omega t की ताको भीतर रखो बाकी दिन से बाहर में इसलिए 1 by r रहला 4 pi r बाहर पास जीवो e to the power jkr minus omega t सेपटे तमर अछि plus omega t so they will cancel out so ultimately you will get e to the power jkr which is gr so that will give you 1 by r 1 by 4 pi r बाकी ब्रैकेट रही p क्रॉस r p in the Fourier domain तार inverse Fourier transform gives you the p in time domain so that gives you ptr cross r cap so that is the second term then what will be the first term is j omega into jk okay j omega into jk into j omega is minus omega into k केते जानिचो k is equal to omega square by c square so this becomes omega square by c square है so first term is omega square by c square तो नहीं mu epsilon mu 0 epsilon 0 हाँ omega square by c square ठीक तो अच्छी ना बोल कोची ओमेगा into k ओमेगा तो हला ओमेगा k हला ओमेगा स्क्वायर mu epsilon is equal to 1 by c square ठीक अच्छी so 1 by c square omega square by ना ओमेगा स्क्वायर हला ना ओमेगा क्यू हला ओमेगा क्यू by c square गोटे मिनट ताको एबे हमें नाउ यू हैव टू इंटीग्रेट दैट सब जिन ता भीतर छाड़ दियो पीटी तो रहइबो जेम तेल ताको इंटीग्रेट करले पीटी आछिबो एई पोर्शन तुमको कोन दबो ओमेगा क्यू बाय सी स्क्वायर जो बढ़ला से पोर्शन तुमको कौन दो, दैट इज व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। ओके, ओमेगा क्यू यू कैन राइट एज ओमेगा इंटू जे ओमेगा इंटू जे ओमेगा, राइट। अच्छा, जे सिंस वी आर कंसिडरिंग harmonic field, time harmonic field we have considered, j omega is equivalent to dou by dou t. Okay, so you write dou by dou t for each of these j omega. So omega in omega by c और c0 एथरे c0 नहीं प्रॉब्लम रे, so omega by c0 dou by dou t दी थर रहिबो, then the rest of the term ताको इंटीग्रेट करिवो with respect to d omega t e to the power j omega t, राइट। एबे इंटीग्रेट करलो निजे खातारे करो। नले आ गोटे सहज बाट कहूँ से बाट को दैट यू कैन यूज, सब सिंपलेस्ट मेथड, एफ टी इज इक्वल टू ई टू द पावर जे ओमेगा टी, एफ टी इज इक्वल टू ई टू द पावर जे ओमेगा टी, देख लो। एबे एफ ओमेगा केते हबो बाहर करो।
सर ओमेगा बाय सी स्क्वायर डी ओमेगा डीटी टी डीटी रो काढिबो
ना ना सिंपल प्रथमे आरंभ करो, एफ टी इज इक्वल टू ई टू द पावर जे ओमेगा टी, एटा लेखो प्रथमे फर्स्ट लाइन, एफ ऑफ टी इज इक्वल टू ई टू द पावर जे ओमेगा टी, हैला देख लो।
तापर सर
तापर बाहर करो एफ ऑफ ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू केते, एटा जानछो ना, फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म रे करथिबो निश्चित जानथिबो।
So 2 pi del omega minus omega 0.
2 पाई डेल्टा ऑफ ओमेगा माइनस ओमेगा 0। अच्छा, एबे एफटी रे गोटे कांस्टेंट मल्टीप्लाई कर दियो, एनी कांस्टेंट सी, एफटी इनटू सम कांस्टेंट सी, हला तार फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म केते आछियो, जल्दी एफटी रो एफ ओमेगा एफटी इनटू सम कांस्टेंट सी, तार फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म केते,
One by c f of omega by c.
आ के कलो तमर मन अच्छी ना फॉर्मूला देखिक कहूच ना बाहर कर
Sir, 1 by c f of omega minus omega 0 by c.
1 by c into f of omega minus omega 0. अच्छा एबे हाँ जदि तुमको राइट हैंड साइड दिखाई तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड बाहर कर दो याद जे तुम कह 1 by c f of omega minus omega 0 रो बाहर कर फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म बाहर कर परिबो इनवर्स फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म केते हबो अरे तो समय देखुच कौन सांगे सांगे कहया कथा CFT ना CFT रो जदि फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म हला 1 by c f of हाँ ओमेगा माइनस ओमेगा 0 गोटे कोठ आसला ओमेगा 0 किछि मु कहतिली कि कहनी तो
खाली ओमेगा सर.
ओमेगा बाय सी
ओमेगा 0 कोठ आसला ऊपर टारे कोन कहली कि ft इज इक्वल टू e टू द पावर j ओमेगा t कहली तार फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म केते बाहर कला हेलो हेलो कटिगला कि कटिगला बोधे
सर?
पिला कॉलेज हाँ शुभुची
हाँ सर
पिला कहूना कि कले कि नहीं ft is equal to e to the power j omega t आगे सेटा कले तापर गोटे गोटे क्लिक लाइन करी करे अच्छा आउ ठीक अच्छे फॉर द टाइम बिंग तुम छाड़ दियो फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म छाड़ दियो ता परटा करी परछो कि नहीं ता परे फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म को आसीबा आगे जत्ते कि सॉल्व करी परछो कर दियो ता परे फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म को फेरिया लास्ट ता परटा करी परछो कि नहीं radiated field रे e radiated और h radiated
into omega c होगा
हेलो
सर सेटा omega c होगा
ओमेगा सी ना सी को आसला ता देर सी तो किछ नहीं बर्तमान पे फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म छाड़ दियो बर्तमान तुमको कहला जे ऊपरटा दिया इन द फ्रीक्वेंसी डोमेन ता देहरु तुम इनवर्स फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म करिकरी फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज द एक्सप्रेशन इन टाइम डोमेन सो लीव इट फॉर द टाइम बीइंग एबे द सेकंड रो ऑफ इक्वेशंस they give the fields in the time domain complete field from that find out what is the radiated field